So today we're in Sydney at the Prince of Wales Hospital. We have the pleasure of spending some time with Owen Dillon, and we funded Owen through the University of Sydney. Where we're at is this incredible area in the radiotherapy imaging in the basement of the sort of the cancer centre here in part of the hospital. And for us, it's a really unique place to be and very, very different from a lot of the filming that we've done before. So I'm very much looking forward to this chat. Owen, thank you very much. But let's start at the very beginning. So early on, were you always interested in science? I mean, for you, the science and then the imaging, I mean, explain to me how it all started.
So I was always interested in science as a kid. I think part of that had to do with the fact that I had my first pair of glasses when I was 3 years old. And when you go to school like that, you're kind of locked in with what people are expecting you to do. So I've always had an interest in science and in physics and in maths. I really enjoyed doing the type of maths that is useful for medical imaging, which is going from things that you can measure to things that you can actually know about and how you can go in between those two sets of information. So I found that a just fantastic, fascinating thing to learn about. And then when I was looking for jobs, I was able to relate that to medical imaging and get this job that I have now. So it's really great to have gone through learning all of that science, learning all of that mathematics, and now having the chance to actually use it to improve patient outcomes and make a positive change.
Could you just mentioned then about on how you moved through to getting the work within the medical imaging, but how did that process come about? So you finished school, you went to university. What degree did you do, and then did that lead on to PhDs and postdocs and everything else, or was it a different process?
So I did a combined undergraduate of physics and maths, which it turns out was quite a good idea. Like I said, I really enjoyed the maths, so that's what I did my PhD on. And then when I was looking for, other jobs that I could do post-graduation, I found a listing for this research group saying they really want somebody who understands the maths of medical imaging, because there's not a huge number of us around. And I was really happy to step in and, make some contributions.
Well, that's fantastic. So almost like it was the job was laid out for you.
I've been very lucky a few times in my life,
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was a big stroke of luck.
So how long would you say, I was going to say, like, how long have you worked in cancer research, but would you classify yourself as cancer research, or would you more classify yourself in something a little bit more focused, obviously, around the medical imaging?
So I would say my very specific expertise is around imaging for lung cancer.
Okay.
So obviously cancer research is a part of that, but I don't do a lot of research on the really careful biology of the cancer, especially working in lung cancer radiation therapy. We're just interested in being able to see it so that we can blast it.
Yep.
We're not doing a whole lot of drug research,
Yep.
Not really complex biology, just we need to see it as well as we can, guide that beam as accurately as we can so that we get rid of it.
Yeah, that's pretty wild actually, and it's great actually to have a conversation that is so different from some of the ones that we've had before. And so with on the rallies, the teams themselves, they work in a small group to make sure that everyone gets across the line at the end of the rallies. Do you work in a team environment here, or is it a solo thing? How do you work?
So the research group that I'm in now is really focused on radiation therapy, and especially in ways of dealing with motion during the radiation therapy delivery. So it was because I came into that environment with all of that expertise that I was able to go from just a very heavy maths background to developing something that's actually useful for patients. So it was leveraging a lot of that expertise around me and some really good mentoring from higher up people in the group is how I was able to turn really some clever equations into actually better patient outcomes. In terms of how I work currently, obviously, like, we maintain a really collaborative environment so that everyone's working together on this sort of common goal. And I have a lot of research collaborations outside of my university group as well. And that can range from things like other types of imaging, other cancer sites, but also other ways of treating cancer, and sometimes other applications of the technology that we're looking at. So I've been talking to a lot of people just this week on how some of the technology that we've developed could be used to improve care of cystic fibrosis patients.
Oh, right,
because
okay.
a lot of that also comes down to what are they able to see in the images of the lungs. Well, we're experts in images of the lungs.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, it's all about getting helpful information out to as many people as possible.
I think I'm going to ask you a question here, and I think you've touched on a few aspects of what I imagine the answer is, but what are some of the things that you really like about your job?
I really like that I can look at what I've done each day and justify why that's a piece of work that should exist. It's really exciting to work on something where there's no question in your mind of, is this something that people should be doing? Or is this a good use of my time? Like, it's so clear that we're going to have a better impact on the world as we work on this thing. And it's really exciting when you're working on a piece of technology where you're pulling together a whole lot of disparate pieces that other people have worked on, throughout the years, and it just sort of comes together in front of you into something that addresses a well-defined, well-known clinical need. It's the best job you could have.
That's excellent. I love the enthusiasm. Yeah, so nice to be able to have something that is so rewarding on a daily basis. So do you, when you put on a grant application, which was successful, as we know, which is wonderful, do you spend a lot of time doing grant applications in your work as well?
So our research group is 100% grant funded. We don't get any additional financial support from the university.
Oh, right.
So everyone with a job there, their salary is paid from grants such as this one.
Yes.
So especially in that kind of environment, we do spend quite a lot of our time grant writing. I'd say probably about 20% of our time ends up being working towards grants. But it's not like working on grants is wasted time, or it's not like it's that distinct from research time. Because when you're writing a grant, you're looking for real problems that you can come up with a well-argued solution for. And it's kind of like grant writing is a good opportunity to assess what the research is that you should be doing. Because if you can't convince other people that this is something that should be done, why are you doing it? And a lot of the time, that initial bit of that sanity check for an idea that you've had, that step of the research is really what you do anyway to put in a grant application to say, hey, I've had this idea on this kind of first pass, it should work. So we should do it.
Yeah, it's a very, very good way of putting it. I love the way that you said that it's a nice reality check, and you have to be very thorough in your thoughts associated with what it is you're doing to be able to therefore look at grant applications. What would you say is one of your most cherished achievements to date? Do you have one or two that sort of sit up at the top of the list?
There's one or two. Number one is marrying my wife, because I love her very much.
That's sweet.
And number two, and it's not that much further down, is getting this grant. And then everything else is much lower than those two. So getting this grant was so exciting for me because it was the first really independent bit of funding that I got that was able to it bought my time to focus on an idea that I had and really develop it from concept through to something, pretty close to clinical translation. So to have that kind of freedom and to also have that kind of, what's the word? Not like prize, like verification that you are working on something that, or, you know, you've had an idea that somebody else also thinks is good. That was a great day when I got the grant, the notification that this grant was successful.
Came through. Yeah,
I also
fantastic.
caught 6 trout that morning. So it was a very good day.
A very good day. Awesome. All right. Well, so where do you see yourself in, let's say, 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself basically continuing to work on the technology that was funded on this grant. So with this grant application, we're able to build kind of a prototype of the technology and integrate it with this LINAC right here. And at the end of the grant, we will have done some experiments to show, yes, you can do this. This is, physically it works, technically it can be done, but to then take that into a clinical product that you'd actually feel comfortable using on a patient, there's quite a lot of additional work that needs to be done on that to make sure that it's safe, and then to gather that evidence that shows it does improve patient outcomes. So I think 5 years' time, I'm going to basically keep working on this, but with more bits and more patients and just making it as good as it can be.
Well, I think we're very much looking forward to the adjoining film to this one to hear more about the work you're doing itself. Now, you touched on fishing. Are there any other things that you like doing outside of the imaging area here in the hospital? What do you like doing when you're not here?
So I get a bit of raised eyebrows about this, but what I really enjoy is running.
Okay.
I'm in a couple of run clubs around Sydney, and I think it's just, it really makes you feel alive.
Yeah, I can understand that. I used to run. Haven't for a long time, and I wish I did. I wish I'd never stopped. Okay, cool. And so how about something we ask everybody is bucket list. Do you have anything on your bucket list that you'd like to do?
I suppose the real bucket list item is make the first, create the first clinically approved prototype of this technology.
Yeah.
That's like, it's all working towards that.
Yeah.
Something that's maybe less just super work oriented would be, I'd really like to run the Bondi to Manly in under 7 hours. That's the goal. Okay.
All right. Well, they're two pretty good ones. I think the one where, like in our next film, one of our questions is we talk about, do you work with any technology? Your answer is going to be really interesting, and we're very much looking forward to looking through what we have behind us here as well. So, Owen, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, mate.